You are born in 1892, in a narrow brick house behind a livery stable in Boston, Massachusetts. The air smells of manure and coal smoke. Your father washes bodies for the church. Your mother boils linens in a black iron pot. You learn the weight of silence before you learn to read. Winter presses against the windows. Influenza takes your baby sister. You watch your father close her eyelids with two calloused fingers. He tells you not to cry over what is already still. The room smells of lye soap and something sweet turning sour. By 10, you are carrying buckets of water up wooden stairs to rented rooms where the dead lie stiff on iron beds. You hold the basin while your father shaves a jaw gone gray. The razor scrapes. The skin tears. You do not look away. School ends early for you. Coins matter more than books. You sweep the chapel floor. Scrub dried wax from pews, polish brass handles on pine coffins. At night, you hear the horse-drawn hearse creak outside your window. Death never knocks. It waits. At 16, you assist in your first full preparation alone. A dock worker crushed by a crate. Ribs broken like kindling. You pack the cavities with cotton, stitch what can be stitched, powder the face to hide the bruising. Your hands tremble, but you finish. In 1914, Europe burns. In 1917, America joins. Soldiers ship out. Some return in boxes. The crates arrive sealed, stamped, official. You pry one open under dim gaslight. The smell is metallic and wrong. You work faster than nausea. The 1918 influenza pandemic fills your narrow parlor with bodies stacked too deep. Church bells ring until the ropes fray. You sleep on a wooden chair between viewings. Mothers press coins into your palm with shaking fingers. There are not enough coffins. You build through the night. You inherit the business at 27 when your father collapses beside a cooling table. Stroke, the doctor says. You close his mouth the way he taught you. You measure him for his own casket. The wood splinters under your saw. You marry a seamstress who can stitch burial gowns from curtains when silk runs out. She keeps ledgers neat. You keep the dead presentable. Your hands grow steady. Your back bends. The neighborhood knows your door. Prohibition begins. Men with hard eyes and sharper suits arrive after midnight. Bullet wounds. Broken knuckles. They pay in thick envelopes. You ask no questions. You drain blood into enamel pans. You sew in silence while the city whispers. One winter, a child drowns in the harbor. Skin pale as milk. Lips blue. The mother wails until her voice breaks. You warm the room with a coal stove, trying to soften what water hardened. You comb the child's hair. You fail to make it look asleep. The Great Depression empties pockets. Families beg for cheaper pine. No lining, no flowers. You offer credit you will never see again. Your wife sells her wedding ring to buy varnish. Hunger visits your own table now. You learn the new science of embalming fluids. Formaldehyde stings your lungs. Your fingers crack and bleed from chemicals. You cough into a handkerchief and see rust-colored spots. You fold it away. There is work to do. A factory explosion tears through the docks. Limbs separated from names. You line them in rows on cold tiles. Identification becomes a guessing game of boots and wedding bands. You lie gently when certainty is impossible. Your son grows tall among coffins. He hates the smell. Says he wants factories, machines, anything that moves. You show him the ledger, the debts, the thin margin between dignity and rot. He leaves anyway. In the 1940s, war returns. Flags drape caskets in careful triangles. You press uniforms flat, pin medals to wool that will never warm a body again. Mothers thank you for making their boys look brave. You know bravery has nothing to do with it. Your wife dies quietly in her sleep at 52. Heart failure. You sit beside her until dawn. The house is too quiet without the scratch of her pen. You dress her yourself. No one else touches her hair. Telephones replace telegrams. Motorized hearses replace horses. Competitors advertise modern comfort. You keep your old sign, paint flaking. Families still come because you remember names. You remember dates. You remember how each one smelled when they arrived. Your cough worsens. The doctor says chemical exposure. Lungs scarred. You nod. You have inhaled a century of grief. At night, you taste formaldehyde in your throat. It burns like regret. A young couple cannot afford burial for their stillborn child. You waive the fee. You carve a small marker by hand. The letters are uneven. The earth is hard with frost. You dig anyway. Your son returns, hair graying, factory closed. He stands awkwardly among polished coffins. He says he understands now. Work is work. Loss is universal. You hand him the keys with fingers that barely close. You wake one morning unable to rise from your narrow bed above the parlor. Each breath is shallow. The ceiling cracks look like rivers on a map. Below, someone knocks. A new client. You cannot answer. They lay you on the same cooling table where you worked for 50 years. Your son shaves you carefully. He powders your cheeks, hides the yellow in your skin. He closes your eyes the way you taught him. You are buried in simple pine. No satin, no brass, just wood and earth. Rain soaks the soil. Worms begin their quiet labor. Above you, the city moves on. You handled more than 3,000 bodies. Infants, dock workers, soldiers, wives. You earned enough to keep a roof overhead. You lost a sister, a father, a wife, your lungs, and most of your nights. You wanted stability. You got permanence. You wanted respect. You carried silence instead. Freedom meant owning your door, but never closing it. In the end, you learned this. Everyone arrives equal on your table. Power fades. Money rots. Flesh returns to earth without argument. You spent a lifetime preparing others for the dark. Now it is your turn. You wanted control over death. Here is the truth. You only ever managed the details. If you felt the weight of this life in your hands, step into another. There are more doors to open,